everyone, so I wanted to come on here today and talk to you about something that a few of you have tweeted me and asked me on Instagram and that kind of thing if I could talk about, and it's something that I kind of felt like I wasn't qualified to talk about, in that it's not something that I've personally experienced. So I can speak about body image and everything from my personal experience, but from other people's experience, this is kind of the complete other end of the spectrum that I've never really experienced. And because I have always kind of had a bit of a weight issue, if I ever have experienced it, I took it as a compliment. What I'm talking about is, just like there is the term fat shaming, we also can have skinny shaming, and it's something that's becoming more and more visible in kind of social media and just pop culture in general now, because we've had years and years and years of kind of skinny being the in thing, that it has become kind of almost untouchable in a way, and now that's kind of changing and people are kind of celebrating curves a little bit more, maybe because kind of a lot of the celebrities that are in the spotlight now are slightly curvier ones versus like a few years ago. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's something that's very, very interesting, because body shaming is body shaming, however which way you look at it. But then people kind of have complained, for example, about the song All About That Bass. And while I can see completely kind of the body shaming aspect of it, I think kind of like it's just a song and it's not really something that's, you know, that I think she meant as an offensive term. Is it Meghan Trainor that sings it? And also, I think it's kind of, you know, just a curvy girl, if you will, anthem, because you have kind of felt put down a lot over the years for not being slim or skinny or whatever. So in a way I think it's nice, but I can also see how people think that it's a little bit offensive towards those who are not, which it is, because she's kind of chosen a few lyrics that, you know, are not necessarily the most tactful. And I disagree with kind of body shaming on every level, no matter what type it is. It is never ever anyone's business to comment on your body. It's just no one else's business but yours. And I've never been, you know, a skinny girl, even when I'm at my skinniest, which still isn't very skinny, and people will be like, oh, don't you eat anymore? You know, oh, you could do with a sandwich. And I know for a fact that it's not because I, like, you know, look like I really need to eat, because I never do. Like, I'm never really, really thin. I used to take that as a compliment, because I'd think like, oh, they think I'm thin. So it never really offended me. But for someone who has struggled with it all their life and who's been picked on and who's very, very small and skinny and people always like to make fun of and that kind of thing, it is really, really horrible, because it's just like, you know, actually in a way it's worse, because sometimes you could think, I was going to say, just because someone can't help, you know, being bigger, but then you could diet and that kind of thing, as long as you haven't got, you know, a physical problem or anything like that, you could do something about it. If you choose not to and you're happy, that's amazing, but technically speaking, you could. If you're just really naturally thin, it doesn't matter how much you stuff your face with chocolate, that's not going to change. So pointing that out isn't helpful, and it's just kind of a little bit embarrassing, and you're trying to make the person feel bad when they've got nothing to feel bad about. Everybody is entitled to be how they want to be, and everyone has their insecurities, and everyone can feel insecure about lots of different things. One girl can feel insecure because she feels like, you know, she's got a huge bum, and another girl can feel insecure because she's got a really flat bum and she wants to have a bigger bum. It can go both ways. It really, really does swing both ways. And the other thing is that I think a lot of times people like to make out, and I know we're all guilty of doing this because I hear people that I know saying it, that men like kind of curvier women, and, you know, real men like curves and blah blah blah. And it's kind of just like some men like blondes, some men like brunettes, some men like curvier women, some men like slimmer women. It's just personal taste. Like, it's not a fact. And while most men that I know tend to kind of like prefer a slightly curvier figure, you know, that's not to say that that's the rule. It's just kind of that happens to be what they prefer. Just like how, you know, you can ask 10 men and 10 of them will say they prefer blondes, then you can ask another 10 men and they won't. It kind of doesn't mean anything. And it's like how people always say, you know, real women have curves. It's just like, real women are real women because they're women. It doesn't mean anything other than just kind of slogans. And I think these places have come probably from curvier women or bigger women or overweight women, whatever you want to call it, trying to make themselves feel better because they've been made to feel really, really bad in the media and really insecure, and it's kind of almost like getting their own back, but actually it's not very nice because you're actually just giving that insecurity to somebody else over another topic, and that's really unfair in my opinion. So I think that body shaming in any way, shape or form is horrible. There is just no need to do it, but it's something that I think so many of us are guilty doing because it's how we've kind of been accustomed in the papers and in the media and just everywhere. We've become accustomed to just kind of seeing that and thinking that it's normal to make comments on other people's bodies when it isn't, because it's really, really none of our business what someone else's body looks like. And I think that's something that everybody could do with working on trying to kind of not form an opinion about it. It's probably a good step to start with, and realizing that everybody has their insecurities. You know, you might look at someone who's like a size 6 and think like, God, it must be so easy for you. You don't have to worry about clothes. Everything will fit you. Everything will look good on you. You might be thinking at her and looking at her and thinking that, and she might be looking at herself in the mirror thinking like, you know, everything looks shapeless on me, I look like a boy. She could just have completely different insecurities to what you see, and that's what we need to think about before we open our mouths, is what insecurity could that person have to not feed that and to not make it worse. There's just no need for it. So yeah, that was this week's Woman to Woman video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on the matter as always, and I will see you in my next one. And if you've got any comments about ideas for more Woman to Woman videos, then let me know in the comments as well. Bye.